knows where it actually starts?
Nobody. No one knows.
It started already.
Yes.
Well, the recording started, but...
Listen to the woman, man.
So, as I was saying, I feel terrible, actually.
Good job.
You know, a couple of weeks ago in one of these podcasts, I said, do you know what? Someone could probably just go out and steal a truck, like a semi or something, and do much more damage than they ever would with a gun in a mall. And what happens? What fucking happens?
Artrix, you need to go and dig in the old podcast and find this.
Well, maybe I'll put it in the video description.
And
Anyways,
if you find it, Vilius, this is a proof that Panboy in fact is terrorism.
I am the terrorists. I went on a tirade about how easy it is for people to improvise weapons. You could make explosives out of toilet bleach and napalm out of toilet bleach and chemical weapons out of toilet. Basically, what I'm saying is toilet bleach is very bad. Okay,
and that's why you should drink.
Toilet bleach bad. Okay, you shouldn't do toilet bleach.
But also, basically everyone on the planet has access to incredibly deadly weapons. All they have to do is look around. And apparently someone took that to heart and decided to, on my birthday, go on a rampage. With a truck, with my idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice. Like, it should have been you.
You should be
right?
Asking for royalties.
And the worst part of it, he didn't even explode the truck.
No.
Like, what is that? Such a lackluster act of terrorism.
He's not even doing terrorism right. You should at least have one explosion in your terrorism.
Yeah.
At least one.
I used to be happy to celebrate Bastille Day on my birthday to be knowing that I was born on the day a whole bunch of French nobles had their heads chopped off. Because they were French and noble, and that makes them awful people. But now, I can't be happy because now, it's associated with some Muslim extremist improvising a truck into a deadly weapon.
Yeah, now you're bored on today. Somebody fucked up your idea of killing people.
Exactly.
Well, but Panboy, his neighbor very explicitly said that he has nothing to do with Islam or Muslims or ISIS or any of those things.
So why did he decide to drive a truck through a parade?
Because he was divorced and he had debts and he was like, yeah, might as well do some terrorism before. Maybe that was his version of an exit back, and instead of just buying a bottle of helium and some tube.
Artrix.
So you're saying it wasn't terrorism, it was just good old fashioned going postal.
Yep.
Artrix.
What?
You're not even recording, are you?
I'm recording.
You sure?
I'm very sure.
Okay.
It says right here that I can stop recording. That implies that it's being recorded.
Okay. I was just checking.
Okay. Anyways, I almost forgot. This is a podcast. Its name is Radio Rothingham. And
You sure about it?
I'm fairly sure about that.
Okay, just checking.
Is that gonna be your theme of tonight? You're just gonna be the check guy that's just checking?
No, that's in my what's the word? That's how I am. Okay. I am a check, therefore I check. It's like with the Count from Muppets. He's the Count, and so he counts.
Who are you counting?
I'm not counting. I'm checking.
Oh, you're checking the count of the Muppets of the check.
Yes.
Good.
That makes complete sense.
That's national pastime of Czech Republic. They have like the national Czech championships, where people have to check on one another.
Yeah.
And if you even miss the tiniest detail, then you're disqualified.
It was the favorite sport during communism.
Exactly. They kept tabs on each other so hard that some of them even died.
Yeah. They didn't check hard enough.
Or they checked so hard that someone got busted for some crime.
They checked
Some
too hard.
thought crime, and
What, did they check your luggage? Find it full of ponies, and they accuse you of being I don't know, a feminist?
Ponies are obviously capitalists, so yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you can be seen, worshipping capitalism in Soviet Czech Republic, which was not Soviet, but close enough.
You worship the dollar. That's terrible.
So yeah, last week we did our episode earlier to make sure
It was the half episode. I hope you named it half episode.
No, it has a different name.
You fail at everything.
Also, it was a full-fledged episode.
But it was in the half of the week.
That is true.
Once again, you are not getting my genius.
Okay, but we did, especially for you, we did record earlier, so you could be in the episode, and then a whole bunch of things happened.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good without me. Everybody knows that.
Apparently, there were a bunch of shootings. There was one shooting in the Americas, and there was also the whole truck thing. There's some dudes like, yeah, I'm just gonna go and ruin things for everyone, which was also on a Friday, I think.
I guess.
I'm not having a good time at the moment.
The world is fucked, bro.
What was it? 17 on the Friday? No, 17 was Sunday.
Friday, I believe, was it was Thursday.
No, it wasn't Thursday on Thursday. I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
It was the 14th on Thursday, the 15th on Friday. That's how numbers work.
I don't believe you. Thursday was not okay. It was too cold.
Are you talking about the temperature now?
Yes.
Oh.
Because I was out the entire night.
The weather has been pretty warm this last week here.
Yes, this last week, but not the week before.
I think it could be said about all of Europe.
Define this last week, because the last week, not this week, it was warm the first 3 days, and then the days I actually needed it to be warm, it was cold.
Of course.
Well, it was.
And then it started being warm again. What a fucker.
It was hot as balls.
You're British, you're not even in Eurobasta. God knows where Britain is located right now. Probably somewhere in Mozambique.
You probably drifted all the way to Australia, and they're probably very amused because they're like, haha, look who came crawling back to tell us the prison colony. What you gonna do? Check on your prison? Well, your prison has grown up. I'm an adult, Mom. It's not a face.
Try it, yo.
Well, they would probably say something like, it's not a face, wanker.
Bloody future bonus.
But yeah, if the England did drift off to the Australia and they actually touched, then they can finally say they have a land border with Australia, and then then all the Brits are going to refugee into Australia, and they're going to be like, holy shit, how does a land border even work? We're not used to this. All this
Teleportation.
No, I don't think they will have enough time to do that. They will be eaten by the local fauna and maybe flora.
Oh, that is true. If as a Brit, you walk into Australia expecting nothing, and then there's like men eating crocodile
plants, crocodile plants, kangaroos, yes, and the emus.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about the koalas, because those fuckers are dumb as bricks. Did you ever see a koala?
They're almost as dumb as pandas.
Almost.
Do you mean an Australian drop bear?
Yes, the Australian drop bear, exactly.
You're just walking on from the bar one night, and then suddenly something drops down on your shoulders. Next day you wake up in the hospital. Koalas, man. Obviously, it was a koala.
I mean, I don't know. Koala, if you present them food, they're like, hey, koala, look at this. Got, this plant that you need to survive. It's on a plate. You can just grab it and eat it. And the koala's like, what is this? I don't understand.
Don't koalas only eat eucalyptus? Aren't they like pandas?
No, don't pandas eat a lot of bamboo?
Yes, pandas eat bamboo, and I think koalas are similar in that they'll only eat the one plant, which is eucalyptus. I could be wrong on that, though.
No, I think koalas exclusively live on eucalyptus, and they
And they are stoned as fuck.
And their entire digestive system is built around that, and they're incapable of eating anything else.
Yeah, the thing is, they don't get almost any energy from that.
No, so they basically spend their entire lives doing nothing but eating plants.
Exactly. They are useless, almost as useless as those little dogs that people carry in their hands. In one hand, I mean, because they are so little and useless.
Mm-hmm. It's really odd how many really dead-end animals nature has come up with.
Like pandas.
Yeah, pandas, koalas, those weird bugs that live under the toilet, and nowhere else.
Gross.
Also, there's some kind of bug that doesn't get the idea of 3D.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you put a stick in front of them and they have to go around it.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's a lot of bugs. They find it hard to climb over things that are large compared to them.
That's just a stick, not a branch.
Dude, if you were the size of an ant and someone put a stick in front of you, it would be like a train just fell out of the sky and derailed all over the place.
But if I was the ant, I would just pick up the stick and carry it away.
Because ants can carry 10 times their own weight?
I think they say 30 times, but a stick is still pretty big. Well, it depends on the size of the stick. It's like, how long is a piece of string?
Well, and on the other hand, you have alligators and sharks, and they didn't evolve the last 60 or 70 million years because they didn't need to.
Yeah, they're just so good at murder.
Okay,
like
there's awkward silence. We need to talk on your head.
If you compare how much evolution the human species has done in the last 100,000 years to alligators, like, my God, we've developed all these disparate races across the planet in a really short evolutionary time, and we've used it as an excuse for all sorts of mistreatment. It's like, your skin color has developed to be slightly different. I'm going to think less of you. Like, oh. The penalties of evolution. Slight differences.
The alligators are pretty non-discriminating. They eat everything.
And the alligator's like, oh, you're black? I don't care. Your legs taste good. You're white? I don't care. Your legs taste good.
Tasty.
You're an Asian who scored in the highest percentile on math on the planet? Don't care. Tastes good.
Chinese food.
Stupid Asian people being smart.
In other words, I think that gives me an idea, because the diversity and shit, it's all the rage right now. So what we do, to make this process of hiring completely, fair and free of bias, what we do is we take 10 applicants, each from a different race, and we just put them in a pit with the alligator, and
yes,
and whoever gets out wins, because the alligator truly doesn't give a shit about race.
Well,
that's a good idea.
It will be obviously the refugee who came to the alligator fight with an axe. He just got off the subway.
Oh wait.
Well, the axe is a part of his culture. Of course.
Also, did I don't remember any of. Are you talking about the attacks that are going on right now? Or?
No, I'm talking about on a German railway, a refugee decided it would be a good idea to hit several people in the face with an axe.
I almost forgot about that. That's how terrible this whole thing
How did
is.
he do that? There's not much space in a carriage like that to swing an axe.
He managed to injure 15 people.
Okay, well, that's actually pretty impressive.
It is. I don't know how that would happen myself. Like, if you're on a crowded train, surely there's enough people there to stop someone with a melee weapon.
Yeah. Well, the answer is obvious.
By an axe, maybe, and then trying to bump their lives.
The answer is obvious, Panboy. We just need to give people access.
Yeah.
Open
Everyone
axe
should carry axes at all time.
Yes. Like
So
Vikings.
I think what's going on, because I'm pretty sure the guy played a lot of Vidya in which he always used axe, and that means that he's very good.
I bet
at
he
axe.
played Doom, but he just didn't have chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I
obviously
think
video
fine.
games are to fault here.
You're gonna see that they're gonna blame Vidya for the Munich attacks as well, and be like, yeah, this guy knew how to pick up a gun, so yeah,
Well-
obviously Vidya, because we all know that if you play a lot of Vidya, you can aim real good with IRL weapons.
Yes.
Speaking of that, the Munich
It's exactly
attacks
like in game.
are going on right now as we record this podcast. Gunmen have stormed a mall in Munich and have decided to shoot people, as seems to be becoming a regular trend in European cities where nobody can fight back.
Those goddamn angry white Germans.
It's almost like when one group of people has vastly more power than the group they're attacking, that they just become a fish in a barrel for them to shoot at.
Oh. No, it's just a part of their culture. Come on.
Yes, it must be. Well, actually, I don't know if they have identified the shooters in Munich yet. It's still happening.
Well, either they are white and they are terrorists, or they are brown and it's a part of their culture.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true. They're just celebrating their culture, and their culture happens to focus around murdering everyone they don't like.
As you do. I mean,
It's also-
that's been going on for the past like X thousand years. What's wrong with that?
Also on Reddit, someone was like, "Oh no, this means that someone's going to that this is how you get Trump elected as president."
It is.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the
that's a
problem.
bad thing.
Maybe that's something you need to take into consideration in this whole culture war that's going on right now. Maybe people are kind of getting sick of being murdered like this. It's
Well,
like you said
I
with
I
these
wasn't
Frankfurts.
murdered. I wasn't murdered yet.
Yet.
Yes, but see, you're in a primitive border country, and the refugees don't really want to stay there. They just want to wander through. Not that they won't do damage as they go through, because they will.
Yeah, obviously. That's why we like. I don't think they don't want to stay here because we are not interesting. I think they don't want to stay here because we hate him.
Yeah, that too. You want to remove the kebab, obviously.
Yeah, as you
But
do.
they're going to places that enjoy kebab, and
This
it's
is true.
like
we had one kebab center, and
Like-
they still had time to get into some sort of brawl inside.
there's like 3 kebab shops within walking distance of me.
Wow,
And
that's
they're-
even more than there are over here. How does it make you feel?
Culturally enriched, but it's okay. They're actually Italian.
Okay.
They just happen to sell kebab.
So actual shops, yes.
Yeah.
Like kebab center, I'm in the refugee camp.
Oh no, we don't have any of those. Thank God.
We have one or two. One of them is absolutely hilariously very, very close, or actually in the area that's famous for neo-Nazis and other skinhead type people.
Oh, that can't react well.
I think, I would almost say it was intentional to keep them in check.
Check.
It's like, yeah, If you guys cause any trouble, we might, turn a blind eye to the fact that the neo-Nazis are going Nazi on you. And that probably would happen too.
Yeah.
Oh God, it is a horrible time in history when you're looking to Nazis to solve your problems.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about that. Right now, Nazis seem like the lesser evil.
Unfortunately.
Well,
I mean, they are good at solving problems.
Well, you have to consider that they did kill millions of Jewish people as well as
And
multi-racial
gypsies and gay
homosexual.
people and basically
Yep.
everybody that was Slavic. So yes, Astra.
Yes,
They were
someone
killing
that's-
everybody who
that
wasn't
was
Nordic
German
race.
kind of thing. Yeah,
Give
I know.
them enough time till they kill you too.
It got very funny, actually, with the whole Nazi purging thing when they started really getting deep into those purity rules, because it got to the point where everyone was looking at everyone else saying, "Are any of us Aryan enough?" I'm like, shh, don't mention it. Just keep your nose clean. No one will investigate. They won't find out your tree family removed black grandfather was black.
Did you actually see those graphs that detail in great detail what is considered to be Jewish? It was fucking ridiculous. It was like, if this person all the way down your lineage is Jewish, then you're fine, I guess. You can exist. It's fine.
You get only 1/16 gassed.
Exactly.
I think it was actually something like that. If you were less than 1/16 Jewish, you were okay. But
you can be reformed. You can be Nazified.
Was it the grandparents' parent or something?
Yeah, it got
3 generations.
No, it went further than 3.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah,
I'm
Nazis
sure it was
were
3.
insane.
Jesus Christ, that is insane. I'm sure
Yeah,
that it was up to 3 generations. Anything after that, you're okay.
But that was the thing, though. It was deep enough. It was deep enough that if you actually dug into anyone's family tree that deep, you'd find yes, they were related to almost everyone, which meant nobody was pure. The only people that were pure were inbred families that have been inbreeding for the last 20 generations.
And probably the Swedes.
Yeah, maybe.
Except the Swedes weren't in Nazi. They were
Exactly. That was the problem.
Well, they were
that was
neutral.
back when they actually had a spine and they were independent and they stayed independent.
Yeah.
Well, everyone was Nazi.
The Nazis had Norway though.
They had Norway.
And then Britain sent a bunch of crazy Scots to blow up their power plants. It was great.
Wait, Britain attacked the Swedish power plants?
No,
Norwegian.
Norway. Yes.
Why?
Because Norway was Nazi.
That makes sense.
You see, Denmark was Nazi, but they did a really good job of trolling the shit out of the Nazis. Then there were the Norwegians that were also Nazi. So yeah, like Xaverius said, they were trolled by the British, bombing their power plants, and Sweden actually had a backbone back then, and they actually managed to not be Nazi. They were neutral.
Oh, now they're kebabs, so.
Yeah. Well, Finland was also Nazi, but Finland did it kinda so they can tell Russians to fuck off, or Soviets, as might be the case.
They were Nazi. I thought they pretty much fought everyone off.
Finland was voluntarily Nazi, so.
Oh, they actually joined the Axis because we defeated the.
Okay, Germany is strong and they are invading Russia. Maybe we can, gain something on that. It was not a very popular move in Finland, but it happened regardless.
Okay, well, obviously now I'm going to have to draw a Axis Italia comic now. So.
Oh god.
So yeah, let's see. And it's also Poland Ball comic, so.
Truly, the apex of Art.
Art is potent comments.
Can into art things.
Mm. And Finnenbos all not the tsundere, but he's like, oh, the Nasi-kun, I am so... Yeah, he's also blushing. And Ponenballs that don't have eyebrows, but he's blushing. Nasi. Anyway, need the conversation going because...
Yes, I was just looking up towards. Apparently, Winter War happened as early as 1939. Which was immediately after Stalin executed everybody who was above, I think, sergeant.
Well, that's one way of turning your army to your side.
Yeah, that's one way of letting. That's one way of letting the Finns win.
I was just reading a news article about some Irish nonsense. Apparently, the Irish government is threatening everyone who's trying to sue their schools for child abuse with exorbitant fees, so they'll stop suing them to get them to drop their cases.
Mm-hmm.
See, Ireland had a lot of Christian Brothers schools,
Right.
before my generation. Actually, probably in my generation as well. And you may have heard that back then there was some priest and student action that would take place.
Oh, okay.
And child abuse was pretty common in Christian Brothers schools, where corporal punishment was pretty much the norm.
Mm-hmm.
It was their favorite pastime.
So now the Irish government is telling people, stop suing your schools. We can't afford to pay you. We'll charge you fees. I was like, okay. That would just make me want to sue them twice as hard.
I was about to say, you just like, okay, I'll sue you for feeing me.
Yeah, exactly. Now you have to sue them harder so you can win the money that would offset the fees.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
more or less.
It seems a lot of people have just given up on their cases, but that's awful. Although, then again, that could be a bunch of people who were jumping on the bandwagon who noticed that their schools were being sued. So they're like, you know what? Maybe I was abused as well. Yeah.
It's just maybe.
Maybe. What else?
Playing the victim has been proven recently to be very effective.
Exactly. So, gotta milk it for all it's worth. So how the fuck do I draw swastika?
You make a cross and make it all bent.
I think I got it right, or maybe got it the other way around. I don't care.
Well, if you want to draw Hakenkreuz, you just draw swastika and bend it the other way.
Well, Artrix, you just got this video banned from YouTube.
Oh no.
Yay!
No. This is for educational purposes.
Well, it means we can talk about immigrants as much as we want now.
Oh, you.
I love immigrants. They bring cultural enrichment to my life.
And your butt.
Oh no, they don't do that. If they do that, then they have to get killed. I mean,
he's saying that he would kill them if they tried to culturally enrich his butt.
No, I'm saying they would kill themselves if they tried to culturally enrich my book. Because it says in their book that if man lay with man, I don't know the exact wording, but it comes down to murder his face with an axe or stones or a high building.
That's half of their books.
Yeah.
Book, I mean.
Of course.
You like the stones.
I'm sure someone's going to say the Quran doesn't say things like that, and then I'm going to say, yes, it does. It does. It says lots of things like that.
I think in one verse it literally tells them to behead people and cut off their fingertips, but the problem with that is that it doesn't specifically tell what to do first. So you got one group of Muslims beheading people and then mutilating the dead bodies, and the others are cutting off fingers, torturing the people that are intending to kill anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
makes sense.
Well, if you want to kill them anyways, you might as well, right?
Yeah, but it all seems like a huge waste of time. I mean,
It's effective, I guess. It makes a good video for YouTube.
Well, all religion is a huge waste of time. I'm not going to pretend that the Christian religion doesn't have stuff like that in the Bibles. It does. But not the New Testament isn't nearly as violent as the Old Testament.
Yeah.
Like whenever people quote the Bible and say, "Yo, the Bible says go murder all these people," and then you look at them and say, "No, that's the Old Testament."
There's the Old Testament, which is basically what Muslimists go from.
Mm-hmm.
And the New Testament is extremely influenced by Greek philosophies. That's why it's more like, hey, love the people that throw stones at you.
Mm-hmm. Turn the other cheek, is as Jesus said it.
Indeed.
When they're using an axe on your cheeks, though, that actually just means you get 2 holes in your face and then you die.
It's also extremely suspicious how often the Old Testament mentions that shellfish are an abomination and you shouldn't eat them. It's like, what were you trying to cover up with the shellfish to God?
Because he was allergic
also,
to it.
My theory is the God from the Bible is actually Cthulhu, and shellfish are his offspring, and that's why they are forbidden to be eaten.
Also, the Bible doesn't even answer the most important question about seashells, and that's how to use them. How do you use the 3 seashells?
Well, the truth is probably someone ate a shellfish, got horribly sick, and they were like, "Okay,
well, this needs to be a rule."
Yeah, nobody should eat this shit. It's gonna kill you. So I'm just gonna write that in a book and call it a Bible.
I wonder if they had such a rule about mushrooms.
So what you're saying is that the Bible is actually just a really old nutrition facts label applied to the entire life.
Kinda. Yeah. They have a lot of rules about sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the 3 seashells is a reference from Demolition Man.
Yes. But yeah, no, actually, in most old books, old Bibles, and religious texts, they do talk quite a bit about protecting your livestock and not treating it badly, which is all about keeping your food healthy. So, actually, yes, Bibles are nutritional handbooks. And you know, the Quran is similar, only it's treating other tribes as livestock. And
it's their fault for not believing in the one true God that is different than the other true God.
Like at least Christianity has a rule in the 10 Commandments that says, "Love thy neighbor." It does not say murder thy neighbor for thinking your God is different. It says love him.
Well, to be fair, I'm sure there's a shit ton of verses instructing people to kill other religions, but yeah, the thing is that people don't actually go and adhere to that. There's a lot of cherry picking.
Of course.
There's a lot of cherry picking in a lot of religions, though. I mean, right now we have a lot of people that kind of take this Islam thing a bit too seriously, but shit on Muslims are like, I like to drink. You know, I'm not gonna eat any pork, but I'll have a drink every once in a while, whatever. It doesn't hurt.
Well, then ISIS are going to come into your house and murder you for drinking and not being a proper Muslim.
Oh.
Although apparently ISIS have been losing power lately. I think slightly too many explosions have went off in their houses.
Yep. And now they're kind of pissed and they're retaliating against the West. I think a lot of people need to realize that the West is essentially at war with ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
And they're, you know, it's like you're playing the Command & Conquerors, and it's like your GDI and then not starts attacking you in your really nice blue zone, and you're like, holy shit, how does that happen? And you're like, oh wait, it's not, they're alive again. It's kind of happening here, but you know, IRL, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the enemy is not.
No, the enemy is actually GLA.
Oh, yeah, it is. But Panboy, they're out to liberate you. Don't you appreciate that? They're
out to globally liberate you.
They're even global.
Yeah, they are liberating you from globes.
Yeah, you know how oppressive globes are with their gravity and shit. I mean, goddamn. I've been trying to get off this planet for a long time, but no.
You got to row.
Row up.
Yeah,
To space.
just row.
No, sounds like work. I think I'll pass.
Oh, yeah, I just refreshed the website, the news website, and it went from saying at least 6 people were dead in the Munich shooting to at least 5.
Oh.
So
Well-
they necromanced one.
Well, it still said BBC News still says 6 people dead as manhunt continues.
Well, the UK left, so yeah, the signal's gonna take its sweet time to reach the BBC, obviously.
Yeah.
Also time zones, I guess.
Yeah, they still, the news sites still say we have no idea what's going on or why.
Well, what's your vote position right now?
What's my what?
The current situation is that they are attackers are still on the run. Witnesses say that they have seen 3 people with guns. Police urge people to avoid public places. Shop workers are still in the mall in the northwestern Mushat district. Public transport has been suspended.
It does say actually that there's no indication so far that this is an Islam attack.
Hmm.
No, I'm not getting that impression either. This seems to be more of a case of, look, I'm a special snowflake, I'm poor.
Well, it seems like it's more of a case that there's copycat attacks. They're the one with the lorry driving and more people shooting.
Well, yeah, this is
Things
the
up.
birthday of that Norwegian guy that decided to put a few holes in a few kids. It's like,
As you do.
yeah.
I'm an
Wow.
ex-lord and I'm going to go and kill these people just having a good time, you know. I'm gonna go to this island.
Been a year already.
That was, I think that was back in 2011.
Are we?
It's been longer than a year. Yeah.
Oh shit! Fuck that.
I know time flies by when you're having fun.
Or counting the corpses.
Or counting corpses, whichever one comes first.
Well, nobody says you can have both.
No indication of Islamic motive.
But it really does go to show, no matter what country you're in, if someone wants to go on a shooting spree, they'll find guns somewhere.
Oh yeah.
The law does not stop criminals from getting guns.
And by guns, you mean trucks.
That too. But in this case, it's actually guns.
Well, we should ban trucks, obviously.
I mean, even, you know, in a country as small as the Netherlands, where you think there might not be any trucks because they don't fit in the country, there are still people that find a way. Because
bikes.
No.
They just tied 7 bikes together and go into a crowd.
No. So
Well,
what happened is some dude was really pissed at the royal family, so he's like, you know what? I'm gonna.
So he
take
tied
this
the royal
Suzuki-"
family together and ran into a crowd.
He took his Suzuki Swift and he crashed into a crowd and then crashed into the side of the. No, he wanted to crash into the bus, but he was such a noob at driving. He probably didn't play enough, you know, racing.
Need for
games.
Speed.
He probably should have played Mario Kart. So.
Now Artrix, if it's Suzuki, then he should have played Need for Speed Underground.
That reminds me, a few years ago when I was in college, someone decided to ram raid Trinity College. They just drove a hatchback into a 400-year-old door. The door is the only thing that got damaged. But seriously, he broke a door that's older than America.
Top kick.
Well, if you put it that way, it's a cultural loss.
It was. Big old Trinity College giant wood doors. They're like 4 inches thick. He just drives the car into it.
No, I remember seeing Trinity College. It looked nice.
I remember seeing
It was
door.
old and shit.
They had to replace a door, though.
Yeah,
The door's never been replaced before.
it's not 400 years old.
Not anymore.
Exactly.
They probably just patched it up. I don't know. I haven't actually seen the door since that happened.
They probably made it look as much as the original as possible.
No, people are daft, and they will do daft things. It also, there was another improvised car bomb that happened a few years ago, where someone just filled a car with petrol and drove it into a wall, and nobody really knew what he was expecting to happen because he just rammed into the wall, and that's all that happened.
Okay, but cars usually are already filled with petrol.
I know, but he got lots of extra petrol and put it in cans. And there's just 20 cans of petrol in the car.
Good on him.
Just rammed it. Nothing happened. Then he got arrested.
That was an attempt.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks for him.
I mean, it didn't even go on fire. It was just so pathetic. So yeah, you can do these. The upside to these terrorist attacks is sometimes people royally cock up, and it's just funny. Upside.
I'm in stitches right now.
Bad for you.
So yeah, is there any other news other than people getting killed by terrorism?
I think more people got killed by terrorism.
Yes.
Oh.
There's also people getting arrested by counterterrorism.
Oh wait a minute,
yeah.
There was also the whole thing in Turkey. Like,
What?
Oh yeah, the coup.
Oh right, yeah, the president who didn't die because he staged the entire thing, right?
I heard that was staged.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I
wasn't
believe at this point.
Obviously Merkel. You should believe Merkel.
Oh God, I wouldn't believe Merkel if you paid me to believe Merkel and go on TV and tell everyone that Merkel was great. I still wouldn't believe Merkel.
But Merkel's great. She's the savior of Europe or something. I don't know.
She makes the Germany great again.
Exactly.
And by great we mean Great Ottoman Empire.
Oh yeah. I just remembered something actually funny and dumb. Milo getting banned from Twitter for saying mean things to Ghostbusters actresses.
That's basically what happened. I mean, the claim is that he incited violence and that he called for all his subscribers to go and make fun of poor old Ghostbuster actress, who in turn was also kind of being an ass.
What actually happened was he pointed out that she makes some racist tweets sometimes, but then it turned out the tweets he retweeted, or it was an image post that he'd posted, were apparently fake, but she also makes mean tweets anyway. There was still active mean tweets on her account. So
for a person on the internet, she was surprisingly reasonable.
But
she got a lot of hate. It was just, generally fortune style trolling. And then Milo was like, I'm going to tweet too. And then somebody was like, this guy is famous, take him down.
Basically, if you take that 4chan image macro and you place the big fish with her, she has like all the hooks in her mouth. It's like, what are you doing, man? You took all the bait, all of it. There's none left.
It's this weird attitude that if a famous person or if just a person with a lot of followers tweets at someone, be it negative or positive, that you can call that incitement to attack is bizarre.
It's bizarre. It really is, because it's kind of like a very fundamental function of Twitter. I think a lot of people don't even seem to realize this, but tweeting on Twitter is like sending a text message to the entire planet. So like, I'm typing this thing, okay, send, and the entire planet can read it. I don't think a lot of people understand this very basic concept. So they're like, yeah, this is like texting my friends, and then some random dude shows up and he's like, no, you. And then you're like, oh no, what? I didn't invite you, and you're harassing me. And no, you just tweet it in public space where anyone on the planet can reply, even in North Korea if they have internet access. And
they have internet. That's enough.
It's a public platform. Anyone can see what you're doing and respond to it if they want. And if people see someone they like talking to someone they don't, talking negatively to someone they might not like, or they might take on the opinion of the person they like and then join in, it might appear to be dogpiling, but it's not. It's just the organic nature of the system.
Mm-hmm.
People to people interaction confuses me.
Although it's kind of mob mentality, which is can be pretty bad. Like if you're ever been at a protest, or like a peaceful protest, when all of a sudden one guy throws a brick, and then everyone's throwing bricks. I mean,
so peaceful.
The guy who threw the brick didn't say, "Hey, everyone, let's throw bricks." He just threw a brick, and it kind of just opens the floodgates of brick throwing.
I don't know. The latest peaceful protest I remember, like I know about more than that it happened, was the Velvet Revolution over here. There was just people sitting on the pavement and lighting candles, and then the police went and brought a tank that shot water.
Yeah, but this is this is why it was so relatively peaceful, because you guys were checking on each other.
Yeah, exactly. We were checking on each other so we don't do anything rash.
Exactly.
Like get water tanks. You see, you need to even the balance of power. When you're having a peaceful protest, you need to bring your own tank.
Well, protesters had the candles. Obviously, the tanks were against the candles.
Must have been.
Also, Kofla was a Soviet invention, so it also brought like copious amounts of Kofla, and also
come on.
of menthols they smuggled in from America, and we all know where this is going.
Oh,
yes, it's going to me explaining you that Soviets actually didn't invent anything. They outsourced it and took all the results.
Yeah, from what actually now that
it's like EU basically.
From what I remember, it was a very distinct Czechoslovak invention.
Yeah,
and that's why it's still popular in both countries.
Like the Zor 58.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but actually, in more important internet-related news that actually affects me deeply.
Are you going to talk about the thing I was going to talk about?
I don't know. Was it to do with a video store?
Yes, the video store, the one that kicks the most torrent ass.
Well, feel free to talk about it, then.
Okay. So, in a display of totally not destroying most of the protective laws of countries and states and stuff, a U.S. police force, which was probably FBI, I don't know, through Polish police force, arrested a Ukrainian guy who was running a torrent site. It was Kick-Ass Torrents, if anybody's interested, because he's evil and piratey and he's conspiring against the world and launders money and stuff. In short, they didn't like that he got 22 million of ad revenue a year.
So you're making money out of piracy, providing a service that people want.
The best part is he did not provide a service. It was just a search engine, like Google, but it searched for torrents. He did not host a single torrent.
Wait, he didn't? Kick-Ass didn't even host the torrents?
No, it was just search engine.
Isn't that what most torrent sites do these days?
Well, exactly.
Well, they did. See, the problem originally was if you didn't host the actual file, you couldn't be accused of distributing it. I mean, a torrent isn't the actual file. Torrent servers never carried the actual file, which was one of the great things for piracy about torrent sites. Nobody held the files except the original seeder.
Well,
And then everyone who downloaded it after that, obviously.
The most the piracy of the highest quality has moved to private sites nowadays.
Mm-hmm. And then you get the funny notion as well that there are businesses out there who have made money out of the whole notion of providing a seed box. There are professional server farms out there renting out seeding services, and they don't care who they sell it to. They are directly profiting out of hosting pirated files, but they're not getting shut down.
They are not getting shut down because they can't get shut down because they are like there's no interface there. They are going directly to the trackers and to the hashes. So yeah.
But they're the only ones actually breaking the law.
Exactly. Isn't it fun? But hey, this is probably because of movie torrents, not game torrents. Because if we know one thing is that MPAA is going after everybody who has their movies.
And I'm pretty sure game developers don't actually take care about piracy. Their publishers might, but the developers don't, because developers know.
Evil. Publishers are evil. Everyone knows that. The thing about MPAA is they had a plan to take it on Google at some point because they didn't like that you could go on Google and search for game torrent or movie torrent.
Yeah,
and it will actually find the torrent. So that obviously meant that Google is doing all the piracy.
And they presented that to a judge recently. They said, "Here, judge, we want to ban the word torrent from search engines." And the judge looked at them and said, "You're retarded." And they said, "No, we're not retarded." It's like,
yes, you are.
You are aware that banning the word torrent from search results and from the internet would affect everything, not just piracy.
That's the thing with the MPNA and the like. They don't give a shit. They just want their,
they want their precious intellectual property that nobody's watching anyway.
Especially due to the fact that torrenting is actually the most reliable and stable downloading platform that has ever been created.
This is true.
If you want to do a rapid backup for your system servers and maintain like cross-site consistency, but you're not running a big database, you can use a torrent program to constantly clone your website across the internet. Exactly. And it will also it does all the hash checking as well. And it's even if the connection goes down, the torrents can reconnect and finish their job when it comes back up. It's connection safe. Torrenting is just great. It's just really good. So,
it is.
It basically takes what made the internet great in the first place, which is being decentralized and
exactly what I was going to say. Yep. So there's a very difficult. It's very difficult to maintain control over those. Like you can really regulate them, unless you shut down a site. Fun thing about this, they took down Kick-Ass torrents. How long do you think it lasted?
About 12 seconds,
roughly. The first thing that happened after the news went out, a mirror or two popped up.
Mind you, the mirrors are a little slow.
Oh well, yeah, it's hosted in Nicaragua or something probably.
Well, it's either that or not having a site at all. So yeah.
And Pirate Bay is shite these days. I went and searched for a legitimate copy of a movie recently.
Pirate Bay had a split. The original guys distanced, and the ones that were left behind. I don't think they are doing anything with the site. It just looks like it's still in the archive mode.
And it's just full of spam. Like you go into any movie torrent, it's like you get a dozen comments on it, and it says, "This is fake. Go download the real one here at totallynotavirus.com."
We got the best totallynotaviruses.com.
Yeah.
No one's got better totally not a viruses than us. But Panboy, is it by any chance that one movie that no one is really talking about, but they're talking about anyways?
Yeah, I can't find it.
Oh.
It's not in any of the video stores. Nobody has went into a cinema with a video camera to record it yet.
Nope.
Oh my.
Apparently the theaters were actually rather empty. Like I said, no one really bothered to actually go and watch it.
What movie is this?
Can I mention a small thing about the DRM before we move to something else?
Okay, but let Astra finish her thought.
Yes.
Wait. What movie?
No, she was asking.
Ghostbusters.
Oh,
It's not a thought.
right.
It's a question.
Okay, that's.
She would get her answer anyway. Yeah. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Do it now.
I'm just saying the MPA is stupid anyway, because why do you need DRM? You don't need DRM.
It increases sales, doesn't it? Just like it did with SimCity 4.
Yeah, it increases all the sales. I mean, you know what's the highest rate game of all time right now?
It is definitely not a game with no DRM. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, obviously. It's Witcher 3, which had all the DRM, right?
It's completely full of DRM. Like, I
Yes.
totally downloaded it from GOG, and it will totally run on any computer, and GOG totally has all the DRM. In fact, I'm pretty sure GOG's mission statement is everything on this site has 12 DRMs.
And you have to run them all at once. Like, you have to get another computer to run the DRM farm.
Yeah.
So
You have to install Star Force. Every single game there has Star Force.
I was reading one of the articles based on this topic, and in the comments there was someone who said, I bought Assassin's Creed Collector's Edition. I put it into my DVD Blu-ray player, and Assassin's Creed said to me after I installed the game, you're running this from a virtual drive, and therefore it will not run because you're a pirate.
Be ashamed of yourself.
This person had to go and find a pirate version of the game in order to play a game he legitimately purchased.
It's the most hilarious thing about DRM, especially from Ubisoft. They are the only games from the Assassin's Creed series that I actually saw or played for the first one and the second one. And the first one had this great thing that it kept checking the Ubisoft servers.
Mm-hmm.
And that caused the game to, not freeze, but stutter every 3 seconds when you were in combat.
Yeah.
Which made it entirely unplayable.
It's waiting for a server response constantly.
Yes. It had, I don't know why just in combat, but I did. It had a simple fix. You just went to your host file and typed the server address in there, and it stopped.
Ingenious.
Yeah, and then Assassin's Creed 2, which my classmate played, I was looking at how he's playing. He was in tutorial. There was a part when you have to grab on a wall and jump over a gap, and he, for the life of him, couldn't do that. And after like 25th attempt, he actually did it, but in that moment, his internet in the house disconnected. The game kicked him out in the menu. And when he loaded it, he found out that it saved him before the gap, because checkpoints, not linear progress, that get saved. I mean, one would think that you would get a linear save when the saves or whatever is half hosted on the Ubisoft servers. Nope. No, he just got rolled back in his single player game. It was great. I laughed so much. He then tried to stab me.
Gotta love always online DRM checks.
Yes.
I don't think I ever actually owned a game that had that shit, so...
It's because you didn't own Assassin's Creed.
The only games...
I don't get the impression that I'm missing out.
Did you know that there was a time where games had limited installations?
I remember Total Annihilation had a great thing. It's like, you needed the disc to play campaign mode, but it let you install the multiplayer spawn on as many computers as you wanted.
Because I knew that if you're
Shit.
at a LAN party...
Didn't the original StarCraft do that?
Probably, yeah.
I think it did. There was a specific spawn option.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like a dude bro thing to do. Where like,
Well, yeah, Artrix, that was in the days of yore, called the 90s, where game companies actually were bros, not like these days.
Even Command & Conquer from EA, a game we actually had fairly strict DRM on the disc, they gave you 2 discs. So you could put it in 2 computers at once. The game didn't need 2 discs. They did it because, that way you could play it with a friend.
Yeah. But then something bad happened. Great money happened, and then publishers came, and everything changed when the... Yes, everything changed when the Publisher Nation attacked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
that started.
The movie that was so successful.
Oh yeah, that it was super successful because I've seen it 6 times by now.
It's so successful, even before Cat went down, it still wasn't there. And I've already watched The Secret Life of Pets, which came out on the same day. So, if you know what I mean.
Was it a good movie?
It was okay.
Okay.
It
The
was
Pets,
weird.
I mean.
I thought it was kind of funny because part of the main story based on a girl dog wanting to rescue a boy dog, but they're all neutered, so it was no point anyway.
That's sad.
That's
on the same level of post-apocalyptic alien-dominated Earth. Said,
Mm-hmm.
When the last 2 people are trying to save each other. But what's the point?
It's like you're never gonna have babies.
The main guy is doomed anyway.
Mm-hmm. It's like if all the sterilized people in City 17 and Half-Life were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we've won the war, but we're still sterile." Oh.
Well, in that case, I don't know.
Well, actually, in Half-Life, they were in a sterilization field, so once they turned it off, they'd still be able to hump and have babies. The dogs didn't have the same.
Yeah, unless this is like an alternative timeline where we
on the upside, the dogs were not full of electronics.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if this is in an alternative universe where they actually did invent the artificial womb yet and everything, then I guess
I think we actually have working prototypes of that.
We do.
I don't think the dogs invented it.
No, the dogs haven't invented it.
That's sad.
No, but there was quite a lot to do about these artificial wombs because it essentially meant that, if it comes down to it, we don't really need women and men both.
Finally, you can have a baby that's a truly special snowflake.
Well, technically, through the magic of in vitro fertilization, you can fertilize an egg without sperm.
Yes, that's true. I'm just going to mix the DNA of 5 people.
Isn't this how they're trying to resurrect the mammoth by taking a surrogate mother that has similar enough DNA as the dead species and then...
Basically,
sure in Jurassic Park?
No, I saw a documentary about this like a decade ago, but they were like, okay, so what we'll do is we will basically sort of kind of clone the mammoth into this elephant, and then we will clone the mammoth into the elephant's baby, and then again until we basically have a pure strand of elephant mammoth.
Yes.
It's kind of weird, and it's kind of like direct inbreeding. In fact, you're using the same parent for all of the children.
Yes,
it's generations.
It's like the Austrian nobility.
Mm-hmm.
Except that, from what I gather, they take the egg out of the elephant and they essentially replace the DNA with the complete sequence for mammoth. And then
they just did. No, so what? It's not. No, you can't do what you just suggested. You can't replace all the DNA in the egg. You can introduce the DNA from the male, which in this case is basically just a skin cell of an elephant of a dead mammoth, and you take that and you inject it into the egg, and if it's not too dead, it will fertilize the egg with the mammoth's DNA.
So you need to do slow changes.
Mm-hmm.
In like 70 generations, you have something that vaguely resembles a mammoth, except it's twice the size.
Okay, I could have sworn that the article more or less outlined that they can just put in any DNA they want, but the problem is that the surrogate mother needs to be of a similar enough species to actually be able to finish the...
Oh yeah, they can inject whatever DNA they want, but it's not going to work if it's too different, as you just said. And they're not replacing the DNA of the mother elephant. They're introducing foreign DNA.
And hope they mix.
Yeah, it's like they're introducing the mammoth DNA as if it was a sperm.
Yep.
But I don't know if that experiment went anywhere, because that, as I said, that was a decade ago, and I haven't heard anything about it since.
Then they presumably take the result and introduce more mammoth DNA and so on, and take the result that mixed positively for them and stuff.
You see, what's different between your story and what I read is that they combine the DNA in the lab, so they take an unfertilized egg and they modify it so that the
combined was also in Half-Life.
And then they do this process where they more or less quote unquote activate the DNA, and then they'll just put in a surrogate mother.
Now, see what's happening here, Artrix, is you're hearing complicated words for simple things, and presuming that makes more sense.
Maybe.
But what's actually happening is what I described. It's really simple because most scientific method is actually extremely simple.
Yeah.
You just have to figure it out at one point, and figuring out is the hard part of science. Once you got this shit figured out, it's not that difficult anymore.
Yeah, but sometimes
except for quantum mechanics. If you think
sometimes you have to
mechanics, you don't
Artrix.
Sometimes
think about
you
Artrix.
have to figure out by doing.
Think about it, Artrix. How could they possibly, without nanomachines, rewrite every strand of DNA in an egg? Like there's billions in there. And DNA manipulation is done manually.
Yes, by proteins. You have to shoot proteins at the DNA until they stick. It takes some while. They can do that, but it takes some while.
Isn't the whole point of fertilization to take two sets of DNA and mash them together so they?
Yeah,
but that's a random.
That's what that's what I'm saying to do. They take the mammoth DNA, they introduce it just like a sperm.
Exactly, but gene editing, that's an aimed operation, and then that's more complicated.
But it doesn't mix with the female's DNA, because otherwise you just get a crossbreed between a.
Well, yes, you do. That
elephant and.
Yes, that's exactly what they're trying to do.
That's what we're saying. They crossbreed the Indian elephant with the mammoth, then they do it again with the baby.
Yeah, because
they keep introducing keep introducing the parent DNA from the mammoth corpse into the subsequent children. So this is an operation that will take like 100 years to complete.
Because Artrix, if such a thing is even possible, then the only reason it doesn't happen is that mammoths are not extant on this planet anymore. If they did exist, there would be crossbreeding. I mean, if they are compatible. If they are not, well, too bad.
To de-extinct.
It's like with Neanderthals. We should clone a Neanderthal.
Oh, that would be awesome. Because, with all the hipster racists on this planet, just imagine the mess we'd have if we also introduce Neanderthals to the mix. Then we don't just get things like Black Lives Matter, but we get Neanderthal Lives Matter.
Of course, it wouldn't be called that in English, because you have to tolerate their language. It would be something like.
I'm pretty sure language is not genetic.
But it's cultural. It's part of their culture.
I don't think Neanderthal culture exists anymore, I'm afraid.
Suddenly everybody would be history
expert. We just resurrected them, and it's thanks to us they're extinct. I mean,
just imagine it. All those gender studies titles would go to history instead.
Look, just because my great ancestor went up to a Neanderthal and said, "Hey, this is my tree," and then hit him in the face with a stone on a stick, does not mean it's my fault that Neanderthals are extinct.
It is. I mean, according to the logic of today's Americans are responsible for slavery, it is definitely your fault.
It's all your fault.
You Neanderthal phobe.
Well, I don't care.
You're also directly responsible for culturally appropriating their DNA into your DNA.
That's
also,
true.
guys,
It's your
you have
fault
to
then.
realize that my great grandfather is probably your great grandfather as well.
Yeah, I loved him. He was great.
Oh,
He
so
murdered a lot of Neanderthals.
So that means we're family, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay.
He was the inventor of a stone and a stick, much more advanced than just a stone or a stick.
Exactly. And that's my claim to fame. My great ancestor invented the stone on a stick.
Good work.
Anyways, I think it's time for a little segment of the show.
I like how we did not mention the Ghostbusters at all.
We did.
Mentioned it was kind of bad.
Yeah, we mentioned it existed and everybody was torrenting times.
It's not even bad. It's just mediocre. It's nowhere near as good as the original.
It fails even at being bad.
Yeah, I mean the trailer would let us to believe that it would be really bad, but as turns out, it's just mediocre. It's like you go to the cinema, you look at the things that are playing, you're like, okay, let's see Alvin and the Chipmunks 3 and this shitty rom-com and yeah, well, there's actually nothing interesting on right now. Oh, there's Star Wars. Oh, might as well see that. Then you're really excited because it's Star Wars. But yeah, it's not special at all. It's not the cinematic masterpiece that it's being made out to be. It's just kind of.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's a great movie. I should go see it right now.
Yep, I'm gonna leave the podcast and go and see it.
Anyways, I think it's time for Xaverius to announce the following section of the podcast.
It's the Astra time with Astra.
So yeah, to this week's Astra time.
What the fuck? Leave me alone!
Nope.
I want to suffer in silence.
We will never leave you alone, Astra.
Astra, you're not getting paid to not contribute.
Oh, yes, I am. I am getting paid with exposure and experience. So, yeah.
Imagine where I can exchange all of that for goods and services.
Well, you need to show more initiative or you're getting a shitty reference.
Anyways, we decided that Astra's topic for this week is cartoons that are starting in the summer. Which is incidentally right now. So. Yeah.
Well, apparently there was about a good chunk of the year a hiatus. Actually, I think it was a year and a half that Steven Universe wasn't having any episode. A lot of people were getting pissed off about it and saying, "Where's the new episode? I want now!" A crying little baby. And now we have a whole month of it.
Oh,
so they're showing a 15-minute episode per day for the month between this week and the end of August, I believe.
Okay.
And are you enjoying this terrible cartoon show?
I am, funny enough. I really am. At first, it's like, I'll watch it, and Artrix is like, it's actually not too bad. Okay, I'll try. Like, but the first few episodes were boring. Sitting there, like, and then it got to about episode 8, 9, and it really started to pick up. Yeah, it's a good show.
That kind of sounds like season 1, where it was like watching the first episode was like, okay, this is interesting, but nothing really that puts you on the edge of the seat. It's kind of like, I don't know, kind of slice of lifey. then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a huge alien race thing, war going on, and we're going to invade the planet.
Oh, that's happening all the time. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was like, wow, that happened. That sure is the turn of events.
That's a thing.
Well,
What are we talking about?
Steven Universe.
Well, the thing is, it's not just Steven Universe. It's also the Loud House, Star versus the Forces of Evil.
Yeah,
You decided to that really.
Oh, for a moment I thought I was
very weirdly,
confusing.
abruptly, and so unexpectedly, and then they brought it back. In
For a moment I was thinking I was confusing the two shows with the universal things. Universe and Stars. That's sort of related, you know.
Well, I did watch the first episode of Star vs. Force of Evil, and it was a very interesting way to start off the season, because previously the show was really, lol random. It was like, yeah, this is a show, this is magical girls, he goes to human school, it's an Oriental, very city, and it only gets kind of interesting by the end of the entire season. But season 2 starts off fairly decently. Like, the first episode was kind of meh, but then you get a really interesting episode with the antagonist. Like, I really like the way they handled that episode.
Yeah, I thought actually there was a couple of good episodes in the first season. There was a couple where Star was beginning to understand the scope of her royal family's power. There was one where she was they were celebrating a Mooney holiday where they had monsters and people fight. And Star apparently never noticed before that the human side of this fight was a bunch of huge armored men against tiny little monsters.
Yeah, the Muni army was kind of OP.
Yeah. And he's like, wait a minute. Are my people the oppressors? just are we? Are we the bad guys?
Well, you could argue that they were protecting their kingdom and everything, but yeah, they did kind of use excessive force. I mean, I can sort of get behind the concept of trying to protect your kingdom against monsters that, given the opportunity, would.
It couldn't possibly be social commentary on America's foreign policy recently either.
That's completely impossible, and anyone who says otherwise is an idiot.
Yes.
You have to wonder sometimes, are these messages for the children, for the parents watching with the children?
Yes.
Probably both.
Reminds me when they try to slip in some loose jokes, especially in
even parents need a message sometimes.
I'd always wonder why Yakko would go, "Good night, everybody."
I wonder
after the joke.
I have no idea what Astra said because Zav was coughing all over it.
Yes, on purpose.
Yeah, he was, oppressing Astra with his white privilege. Privilege.
I was talking
with my ill privilege.
I was talking about how lewd jokes were slipped in for the adults in cartoons.
Oh, there's lewd jokes in everything.
I know, but what I'm saying is that how
even
they
in the
slipped it into
newspaper.
cartoons, especially in the 90s with Animaniacs. I always wondered why.
Oh god, yes.
Why he'd say goodnight, everybody, and realized, oh, that's why. Like the scene where he tells Dot, go check her fingerprints. I found prints. No, fingerprints. Like, I don't think so.
Poor Prince.
Yeah.
And now he's dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he only got molested by Dot once.
Yeah.
Such a waste of life.
He wasn't finger enough.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I like how Star Versus is shaping up so far. That it seems like they really, they got the basics of the show down, and they're, I'm interested to see where it goes. And they didn't completely drop the whole slice of life concept, because in the second season they already sort of go back to Marco basically discovering that his karate teacher is kind of a NEET. Because, he couldn't find the proper tape, so it's like, I'm stuck.
I'm not even a real karate teacher. I only got to lesson 3. What?
He's an imposter.
And you didn't go anywhere else for further training? Come on, man. Come on.
You're running a fucking dojo.
If you put in enough effort to learn the first 3 tapes, you could have just skipped one.
That too, I could.
Or learned somewhere else. I did love the fact that the video store guy was portrayed. That was great.
Yeah, I like that. That did take me by surprise. It was like, that's just your typical neckbeard, and he's fucking ripped.
Well, I'm your typical neckbeard.
Are you ripped?
Hmm.
I think that's maybe.
Do you have like muscles on top of your muscles?
I'm ripped in several places.
Muscles flex at the same time.
Mm-hmm. You bent down and tried to pick up a pen, didn't you?
Exactly. But it turned out that the pen picked up me.
What pen?
This conversation is going to weird places fast.
Just getting into Zav's pen fantasies.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's because you didn't bring the topic, Artrix.
I brought all the topics this week.
Oh?
But I was like really lazy because I just took very big topics, like the shootings everywhere.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that everyone's getting murdered.
Exactly. But you gotta look at the bright side. That means that I don't have to bring a topic because I just picked those topics.
Oh, here's the best thing.
About shooting.
Russia has declared that they want to build the world's first hyperloop.
Oh God.
What?
That's going to end in tears.
Okay.
It's going to end the humanity.
If you don't know, a hyperloop is a maglev train shoved in a tube with all the air sucked out.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
This means
it's like tube post, but with a train.
Mm-hmm. So you don't get the friction from the tracks because you're using maglev, and then you remove all the air so you don't get the friction from the air. So you got a train that's air sealed being shot like a railgun or a magnetic accelerator through a tunnel that's got no air in it, so no air resistance, so it can go to incredible speeds. But apparently, according to the Thunderfoot on the internet, if you were to break a hole in the tube at some point, it would cause the air to rush in behind the train and launch you like a bullet.
Wow.
So you'd be pretty fucked.
And you would kill some French people.
But I'm not really sure if Thunderfoot's experiment really stood up to scrutiny. Because, Thunderfoot had this big tube, actually a relatively small tube. He put a ball in it, sucked all the air out, and then cracked the entire end of the tube, which is a relatively large hole. So that would leave a lot of air space to push into the vacuum. I imagine if something like this maglev broke down, the crack probably wouldn't be the size of the entire tube, and therefore the air wouldn't rush in like a deluge with enough force to launch the train at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
The tube probably would be like, maybe a bit harder than just a piece of glass. Maybe.
Yeah, I think Thunderfoot is a bit fear-mongering with that. You see, this is why you don't trust everything you read on the internet. Even smart people can make exaggerated claims.
Better be scared than sorry.
He's also incredibly anti-Brexit.
Yeah.
He's completely butthurt.
Artrix! Trains have nothing to do with Brexit.
That's true.
It has to do with Thunderfoot.
As I asked, he is extremely butthurt about the whole thing.
But To compare this hyperloop to something that already exists, it's like saying if the channel tunnel sprung a leak, everyone would instantly die in a flood. That doesn't happen. When there are leaks in the channel tunnel, the ocean doesn't just fall into it all at once. It trickles in, maybe a few squirts, and then some divers go out and pour concrete over it, and everything's fine. You know, it's the same kind of problem. You got high pressure water pouring into a tunnel. You know, the whole tunnel doesn't just collapse. It's not. As long as this giant tube is built relatively sturdy, it's not going to just collapse from a crack.
Also, there's also the thing where you can account for this risk from happening. If you know that this is a risk, then you can engineer it as such that you can minimize the effects.
Yeah.
So when there is a leak or whatever, you can build in the systems that prevent it from really fucking up everything.
Well, yeah, there'd be a couple of solutions I can think of right off the bat. If there is a breach in the tunnel and you don't want the train to accelerate at 1,000,000 miles an hour, you turn off the maglev.
Yep.
Then the train sits on the track and has high resistance. Also, if there is a leak behind the train, open a hatch in front of the train. Then you'll get air sucked in from both sides. It will equalize faster. Then you just have a bunch of people stuck in a tube.
Well, yeah,
that also makes for a fun science experiment, though.
Although, actually, the maglev will still work, even if the air collapses. It just won't go as fast. So that shouldn't be a huge problem. Then, of course, you also have the problem of you're using a gigantic magnetic accelerator that uses a huge amount of voltage. That's dangerous on its own. Do you know how much electricity goes through that kind of circuitry? I don't, but I imagine it's a lot.
Isn't it very localized? Because I reckon that they wouldn't have it across the entire track. From what I gather, they only magnify the portion that's actually using, that the train's actually using at the time.
I have no idea, honestly.
I think that's the way it works on things like roller coasters, where you have like these accelerators where you go from 0 to 100 kilometers in 4 seconds.
I think those are generally chain driven.
Probably. I think they're not exactly like maglev, but they kind of use a similar system, I guess.
Perhaps. I don't know. I've never been on a maglev roller coaster. That would be interesting, though.
Well, actually, when maybe we can do that with the Artrix con. In a few weeks we have the second Artrix con, and then maybe we can go to
good for you.
Park. I don't know.
Yes, you should make an Artrix con theme park. Artrix park.
Yeah.
with an Artrix coaster.
Yeah. It's like a roller coaster with my face on it.
Yes.
Everything is just like these entertainment guys walking around the park wearing Arctic suits.
The front of the first carriage is perfect.
Yeah, the front gate of the theme park is just a giant model of my face.
Indeed. Exactly.
There's
exactly
a giant
how it
head
is.
and you have to go through the mouth to get in.
Yep, there's
Yeah.
nothing creepy about it at all.
Oh, let's look at. I went to the video store and I found it was there. It was posted 16 hours ago.
Did you found a video?
Someone actually took the effort of going outdoors and doing.
Let me just open this for 5 seconds and see what kind of effort they put into. Really low effort. It's sideways.
Okay, so it's someone literally just sitting there with their smartphone recording the whole thing.
Well, the producer company logo was at like 30-degree angle, so that's not good. I don't think the person who made this copy would really cared.
They were probably dragged in there by their feminist mom that was like, I'm gonna show my son some strong women in my movie. And he's like, well, might as well pirate a bit while I'm at it.
It reminded me all of a sudden of a story of a guy who got arrested for attempting to pirate a movie while wearing he was doing it as an experiment, and it was very evident that this is true because he went into the movie theater wearing about 4 cameras strapped to him in different places so that he could capture a 3D movie. He wanted to see if it was possible.
And was it?
Well, he got kicked out before he tried.
Don't die. You know.
No.
Yeah, I think the theater staff looked at a guy with 4 cameras strapped to him and said, "No." It wasn't particularly discreet.
Oh, was it?
Or was it? ... .exe.
Yes.
Anyways, does anyone have any more topics to bring up, or are we looking at a wrap here? Scooter does look a lot like a chicken, but he's not quite a chicken wrap. But that can be arranged. Let's see. So new layer.
A chicken wrap, you say?
Yeah, he's in the wrap now.
But I did find some news about a guy who had his entire arm transplanted.
Some lettuce.
2 arms.
There's his chicken wrap now.
2 arms, Panboy, 2 arms.
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right.
That's more than 1.
He had 2 arms transplanted. Wow, that's pretty extreme. But then you have to realize, wait, that means someone had to die.
But not because of the arms. The arms are because somebody died, not the other way around.
Yeah. Could you imagine, if you say needed a new leg or something, and you're like, well, there's no donors who match base, so I'm just going to the blood bank, check their records, see if anyone's a match, and then hunt them down and get them into a motorcycle accident.
Now that's an idea for a movie.
Yeah, it is actually. I think I'm going to pitch that.
I think I've seen a movie in which some dude lost his fingers, and then he accidentally the fingers of some guy that does accidentally for a living. But then the guy was like, yeah, but your music is so beautiful that you can have my fingers. I can lift crates with 4 fingers.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fine.
Sounds like some sort of opening to a porn.
Mm-hmm. Damn,
good times.
It's like, oh yeah. Seeing you play music with my fingers turns me on so much.
Now you're just getting creepy.
I know. So
it's a daily reality for him.
I think we should sell Artrix's fingers to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's the part of me agreeing to it. That might be a problem. Just maybe.
Mm-hmm. No, I'll just use an axe. I'll go Afghanistan on your face.
Apparently they are in the Germany hunting still the guy with the shooting gun.
They're still going after him.
Apparently it's gone up to 8 people.
So yeah, during the recording of this episode, 3 more people died. Just saying.
I love
none of them was us, so it was probably our listeners.
That is a good point. So
it was explained to low listener count because they are all dead.
Oh wait, there's another one announced. Possible 9 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Astra.
Are they still in the mall, or have they escaped to somewhere else?
I don't know. They might still be in the mall.
Might.
Let me just refresh the page. Hold on.
Are they those quantum terrorists I keep hearing about? Like, I'm terrorizing? Maybe.
Oh god, just another Ice Age movie.
That's like 7 now. It's like it's like the Assassin's Creed, a new year, new Ice Age movie.
I hate when
Okay,
companies start doing that. They just milk it. The same. I think the first movie I remember that really happening to was Land Before Time.
Oh yeah.
They made one movie, it was great, and then they made all these shitty straight-to-video sequels.
Yeah, I liked The Land Before Time, but they really did go over the top with them.
Also, I start playing the outro music and now Astra starts talking. Amazing.
It's the Astra outro with Astra.
That's all, folks.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good jazz. And
Yes.
see you guys next week for
Upvote for Astra. One upvote,
I haven't
1
finished.
minute with
I
Astra.
have more to say!
Exactly.
Well, it's too late now.
It's too late. The music is fading out.
And the more you upvote, the more she'll say.